Hey, I'm Scott,
And I'm Chris.
and this is Doxologic, where we help you think with your Bible.
Welcome back to another episode of Doxologic. We are here with you to do a mailbag episode. Chris, Scott, per usual, hello.
Hi, Bree.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Do you want to know something I think is funny?
Yeah.
Most of the mailbag episodes, like the first couple minutes, is just us laughing.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Pretty regular,
We have a lot to laugh about.
Yeah.
That I don't know why that was funny.
I give you a lot to laugh about.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Thank you for being clear about that.
I'm here for the laughs. And
We do
there's
have
a lot
fun
to laugh
together,
about.
though.
We do.
And yeah.
I really like these episodes.
But people who listen probably speed this up. Like, come on, get to the
Oh,
question. Get to
gosh.
the question.
Yeah. Probably. And let's
speaking of,
let's do
That might be
for-
record time. Talking about all of our
Yes.
jokes. Just cut them all out. And now record time. Here we go.
We got work to do, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Let's jump in. The first question reads like this. I use the YouVersion Bible app for some of my Bible studies. I noticed there are 69 English versions of the Bible translations to use. I'm wondering why there are so many translations and if there are certain versions to stay away from. I have family members that use the Passion Translation. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I
Passion
think
Translation.
this person has gotten to the one that comes to my mind as you talk about 69. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
69? Man, I couldn't
It almost
name.
is as many genders as there are.
Okay. Golly. There's more genders, Scott. We don't laugh
That's
around
what I'm
about
saying.
that. There are
Almost.
limitless
Almost,
genders. Shame
Ritter.
on you for
I
even
said
trying to number it. You just triggered me. Anyway, speaking of laughing,
Triggered.
I digress.
Dang it, sorry.
Passion. Stay away from
YouVersion.
the Passion. The Passion is a nightmare.
Because it's not a translation.
And you can find, not a translation, and it is heretical, and it is a one man, as far as I understand, one man's take on just a profound skewing toward not just the charismatic, but the just dangerously spiritual. I frankly don't have a word for it. You can find very good resources easily online. You don't need us because we would end up probably repeating a lot of the same things.
There's a movement called the New Apostolic Reformation.
That's right. Thank you.
And that's kind of where this thing is driving at, is basically to force out of this reworded, rewritten version of the Bible to support the theology of the New Apostolic Reformation. And that in of itself is not the question, but consider from us, you should be warned about the New Apostolic Reformation. It is a problem. It is a concern, and it is growing in popularity. And in part, that's where think about how quickly the Passion Translation just has gotten out, that we're even, I mean, it's
sensational, it's fanatical, and it should just be avoided at all costs. Now, can this person turn that into a family conversation? They've got family members that use it. You probably need to get yourself more acquainted with its errors and be able to talk about this out of maybe a more faithful word-for-word translation, the New American Standard, the English Standard. There are some others, but those are like top couple word-for-word readable translations to understand where the profound differences are. We're not just talking about a new way to say the same thing, but it is saying very, very different things. And so we want to encourage staying away from that. And this person might be interested in like, okay, so where's the line personally for me? Okay, if that's crossed off, there's still 68 options left. I would say we want to go for the most faithful representation from the Hebrew and the Greek into English that is readable. And I just named the English Standard the English Standard Version, the New American Standard. Scott, what else would you say
Legacy
are
Standard
good?
Bible.
Thank you, Legacy
Holman
Standard Bible.
Christian Standard.
What about the New Revised Standard? It's an older version, but it's good. It's good. The Holman Standard. Thank you. One that's very popular is the New International Version. I would call that acceptable, but probably not ideal in certain places. But few places.
It's a dynamic equivalency translation, so they're
Yeah.
going to be translating phrase by phrase instead of word for word. So in some places it's more readable, but it's a little bit more left to the interpretation is left a little bit more to the translator than we feel like it should be as close to the original as possible, leave the interpretation in the hands of those who are doing hermeneutics and exegesis and those kind of things. That's not what these translators are trained to do. But yeah, I would agree. I don't have anything. I wouldn't say stay away from the NIV or anything like that. It's a good translation. I use it, and it's helpful to see differences in how passages are translated. But the Message is another one of those ones. And again, I would say there's still some help in the Message. I just wouldn't use it as my primary translation, Right. And it's basically Eugene Peterson walking through and giving a modern translation of the Bible. So if I have some concerns about it, right? Yeah. Not going to use it as my study number one translation, but at times he's able to draw out maybe a nuance there that is getting at the essence of what the text is meaning. And other times it may feel a little bit
of a stretch.
Yeah.
But the difference is also written by one guy.
Yes.
I'm blanking. We could look it up.
Eugene Peterson.
No. Who wrote the Passion translation,
okay.
though, quote unquote translation.
Yep.
Also by one person, but notice how quickly
Brian Simmons.
Thank you, Brian Simmons, to move away from his thing because it's tied to a dangerous and heretical branch off of faithful evangelicalism, the New Apostolic Reformation. It is the Bible of that movement, compared to Eugene Peterson that labored for years and wasn't trying to compete with the ESV or the NIV. Wanted to bring the Bible maybe to life, which we would say, okay, that's not what you have to do, but we understand the goal was to help the Christian get a sense of God's word in a fresh way without trying to replace it. So
yeah, that's good. I feel like the YouVersion app does like side by side verse like comparison to automatically.
Oh, that's true.
And I was also thinking while you guys were talking, the sermon series you did called Anchored, and the Message on the Scriptures. I think you spent some time walking through a few different translations. So if this was your question or you're interested in more, then that's a resource for you on our website.
Good. Great.
You've been listening to Doxologic, a podcast by Doxa Church in Rockland, California. To learn more, visit us online at doxa.church.